Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons. VOX MACHINA, put into some sort of legal trouble in the city of Vasselheim, found themselves breaking a contract for a guild called the Slayer's Take. That was essentially a monster hunters guild, and all kills near the city of this magnitude required approval. So to make sure they weren't sent to the seat of judgment to essentially be arrested and or tried for this infraction they didn't realize they made, they were given the opportunity to actually join the guild, which they chose to do. However, as part of joining it, they had to go through a small trial in which the party was split and had to go off to their own smaller contracts. One half had journeyed through with our guests Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Felicia Day, and they went after a white dragon. They were awesome. Everyone survived, barely. This venturing party met as the second contract and were given the task to seek out and destroy and harvest pieces from a Rakshasa, a demonic entity that stems from the Nine Hells, and apparently was somewhere in the city masquerading as the assistant to the owner of the Velvet Cabaret, an establishment for upper-class pleasure seekers. After essentially forcing this individual to reveal himself, the Rakshasa fled through a tunnel underneath its room into a long subterranean tunnel fraught with the traps that were set to protect it. The party managed to avoid these rather deftly until the steady decline of the of the hallway, combined with the increasing moisture and scent of refuse, caused a slick surface, and our fantastic cleric, Brother Cash, slipped and fell down. Two party members, Keyleth and Tiberius, decided it'd be a fun time to go slip and sliding. Joined him at the bottom of the tunnel. Torbeer and Vax stayed up at the top, shaking their heads with frustration. Upon splashing down into what appeared to be some sort of underground cistern or a collection of compost and refuse, the party pulled themselves up, now knee to nearly waist deep in this nasty substance. Began to hear skittering and screeching sounds throughout the room, hundreds of small ones, while two large thorny tentacles pulled itself to the surface with a central body filled with the teeth of one giant toothy maw. And that was where we left off. I would like everyone to roll initiative. All right, so as the skittering seems to go to a fervid frenzy, you can see masses and masses of extremely matted fur moving and quivering through this refuse as a series of rat swarms pour out of the edges of this giant dung pile. And where at the center, that giant entity has revealed itself. Immediately, as soon as this creature comes out, you've read of this in quite a few tomes before in your travels. This is known as an Otyug. Riddled with disease, they're controlled garbage disposals for those who can keep control of them.
You know what, I think I'm going to try to at least slow this thing down as much as I can before everybody else gets down here. I think that's the best thing to do. Let's just slow it down. I'd like to cast a Sacred Flame.
Sacred Flame?
Yes.
Okay, so the target makes a dexterity saving throw. Let's see if it makes this.
16.
16, okay, it does not make it. As you bring out your holy symbol for a moment from beneath your armor, you look forward and thrust your spear forward. This energy travels from the middle of your torso across your arm, down the spear, and fires off as this burst of vibrant whitish blue light that blasts into the front of this Otyug creature. 17 damage.
Yes.
You can see now it has the two giant tentacles with these kind of jagged spines that look covered in whatever it's been climbing in, and this one central stalk that has these eyes across it, and the eyes kind of flicker in pain and then wince and then focus in on you and looks across your companions.
I'm going to aim behind that three-headed bastard, and I'm going to release a 4th level fireball.
Show me with your laser pointer where you want the impact to be.
Behind him where it won't hurt Keyleth.
Okay, I'd say that'll probably be right around this area here. Oh, as you use your ring, your focus, the ray streaks past, slams into the wall behind with a deafening roar, and you guys definitely hear this. The hallway in the distance suddenly brightens up, and you can see a bit of flame roll up, and the scent of smoke comes wafting past you as a wave of heat it kind of blasts through the tunnel. Does not make the save, so full damage on the Otyug.
148.
48 points of damage. Boom. There's a big char mark on the front of it. Some of its teeth have kind of been blown into the inside of its mouth. The rat swarm behind Keyleth is completely incinerated with 100 squeak screeches. You can smell charred fur and hair and flesh in the air. Next up is the Otyug, who is extremely unhappy with how that went down. You can now see as it pulls from the front of its body, one giant kind of backwards-looking elephant leg that steps into the front of the material, a second one forward. It pulls itself completely out of the pile, and you can see a third one, like a giant tripod. These thick legs carry it forward. It is going to do a bite attack and a tentacle attack on you, and a tentacle attack on Keyleth, as you're the nearest to it. 18 to hit?
AC is 18.
So it hits.
So it does hit.
Okay. Its mouth is just too big, and as it bites down, while it would have partially hit the side, it manages to find your proper location. The teeth clomp down onto you. 16 points of piercing damage. As you reach back in pain, you push yourself out of its mouth. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
22.
22, okay. As you pull off and away, you can see where it dragged across your scales. It left this nasty kind of trail of black, whatever we would call it, saliva. But you managed to kind of slip it off your hand, and you feel like it's probably not going to bother you too much. When the tentacles can swing down towards you, 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. 7 points of bludgeoning damage from the impact, and 4 points of piercing damage as the spines slam into your side and seem to kind of stick onto you. You are also considered grappled and restrained for the time that the tentacle kind of wraps around you, and the spines are kind of digging into your body. And now it has you by your waist and is holding you in place. That will be a 23 against you.
Math.
14 points of bludgeoning damage to you. And 5 points of piercing damage, and you are also grappled by the other tentacles. You're both currently being held.
We're how high up from
About
here?
15 feet up, and you're that far back in the tunnel.
That far back? Alright, so it takes my whole movement just to run to the edge, probably, yeah?
3, 4, 5, 6. You're getting pretty close right there.
Alright.
That's your turn.
And that's it?
Each one of these rat swarms is just like they're starting crawling up towards your body, and they're starting to find their way into their armor, and they're biting, and it's a terrible, terrible experience. Keyleth is going to be a 16 to hit.
Nope.
Nope. You just kind of brush them off yourself, and 10 to hit.
Okay, so now what?
What's your armor class?
My armor class is 20.
20. These rats come forward, and you just whack, knock them out of the way with your shield, and they just against Tiberius. That's going to be a 13, so it's going to miss. So the rats just no effect yet.
I just kind of take the tentacle that's grappled around me and I grab onto it and I cast Blight.
Okay, it takes 8d8 necrotic damage. Go ahead and roll damage.
Nice work.
This is great.
It's 36 damage.
36 damage.
Yes.
Nice. As you grab the tentacle, you can see the kind of slippery, slimy flesh has that residue on it. As your fingers grasp into it, its kind of brownish yellow color all of a sudden turns to this grayish, sickly, dried landscape. As you can see, the flesh cracking to dust around it. The magical energy travels up the arm to part of its side of its what would be its torso and body, and you can see it begin to withdraw from severe pain. It manages to eventually shrug off any further spread of the magical disease of the blight, but it has left this horrible scarring across one side of its whole body.
Awesome.
I'm going to continue down this corridor to get close to the half-elf.
That's a full round of movement there.
That's all I can do. Leave something for me!
How about just another sacred flame for now?
Sure.
Oh, nice. Not bad.
16.
16 points of damage. Nice.
Yes.
Once
Did
again, the flames burst up, and you can see parts of its body where the scarring is across it all of a sudden explode with light, and beneath it you can see the freshly exposed kind of grayish brown fleshy muscle beneath its outer armored structure. It is looking a little rough.
I'm gonna cast a True Strike on him, and it'll give me advantage on my next.
Tackle gets the target. Okay.
So I will do Misty Step behind him and get out of that grip.
Alrighty. To where you want to go.
Far away behind him as it can go.
There you go.
And that is my turn.
Alrighty. Atia turns around angrily. Now it looks has this empty tendril. It's going to step away. As it steps away, you get one free swing with your or attack with your spear as it tries to move away from you.
Okay. 14.
Plus
9?
Oh, that definitely hits. So go ahead and roll damage for the spear.
10.
Nice.
Yeah.
So as it moves away, you just reach out and hit it with the spear, leaving this big old gaping wound in the side where more of this kind of a dark blood begins to spill out from the wound. As it moves over, it's going to go ahead and do one bite attack towards Keyleth with its open mouth. 24.
That hits.
All right. 16 points of piercing damage to you, and make a Constitution saving throw.
16.
You can feel the diseased liquid that fills the inside of the Otog's mouth begin to pulse into your arm for a second. You tense, and eventually the pain and numbness tends to fade. It's going to reach and attack twice towards Tiberius. 16?
Nope.
That'll be a 19.
Yes.
8 points of bludgeoning damage and 5 points, and you are once again grappled and wrapped up by it.
So if it's occupied with my friend, I can take a second, aim really well, and sneak attack him from up here. 24.
24? That hits, definitely.
Right, so 30.
30 points of damage.
Nice.
All right.
And then the second dagger, which is life stealing, hits with a 24.
That hits, definitely.
That is 8.
8, all right. The rats now move up. This one is going to attacking Keyleth. 19 against you.
Yeah.
17, which I think misses you. Yeah. You take 9 points of piercing damage as the rats are now swarming up over the side of the tentacle and are biting at your neck and shoulder area, and you're trying to brush them off of you.
I'm gonna do blight again.
Blight again against this guy.
Yeah. 45.
45 points of damage from blight.
Yeah.
So this time, as the rats are swarming over you, you reach up your hands. They're glowing with the energies that you're drawing from this. As you touch it, you can see now what was once the blight scarring begins to fill the entire tentacle, and as it turns, it hardens around you, almost like a brittle piece of concrete. The rest of its body, you see it begins to starts thrashing about. The rest of the broken pieces of the Otog kind of crumbling into dust around you. You look up and see the creature as it attempts to back up. It slams into the side. As the blight spreads across its body, its teeth begin to shatter and turn to dust within its mouth, which begins to slowly curl inward as it ages extremely rapidly in a short period of time. Suddenly, it slumps to the ground and joins the refuse of which it once came from.
You were supposed to save something for me! How far down is it?
15 feet.
Can I-
Into soft ground.
Can I jump and land on those rats?
You know what? Sure. Go ahead and make an
Stop the
athletics check.
17.
Oh, hey!
You leap, slam down on top of the rats. Go ahead and roll 1d6. That takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage from you just stepping on a few of the rats.
6.
6, already. And they're now all around you on the ground, and they're trying to kind of swarm away from the impact zone. You still have your action.
I believe that I can attack 3 times in a round.
Yes, as a fighter you do. You have 3 attacks.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my my axe and just try to kill as many of these things as I possibly can.
Cool.
So I swing my axe.
All right. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see where the compost
Sure is.
pile and the rats
I know.
separate. You just shoot through a bunch of the slimy mess.
Very unhappy about that. Okay, 3.
Your axe swings again.
Yeah.
This time you catch a singular rat.
Yeah.
But with the flat of the blade, and you just send it flying about 10 feet, where it comes back unharmed and joins the rest of its crew.
Getting warmed up.
I don't want.
Can't be real!
This time, in an angry fury that you are being stifled by what is essentially sewer rats,
Yes.
you lift your axe up in the air as one rat that has climbed up your pants bites you right in the crotch.
Don't do that.
You drop the axe behind you and reach down, grab the rat, and tear it in half out of frustration. And
Yeah!
And I will give you a point of damage for that.
But I'm a healer, for God's sakes. So I'm gonna try Sacred Flame again. 8.
8 points of damage.
Yeah.
Poof, you release it, and you can see about 13, 14 rats just get thrown and scattered. Their lifeless, burnt corpses kind of around, and the little hole that you left in the middle of that pile closes up as the rats form once again.
I'm gonna put on my hand, and I'm gonna just do firebolt.
Go ahead and roll to attack.
31.
31. Yeah, that hits.
16.
All right.
I'm going to throw daggers at dwarves biting at his ass.
All right.
13.
It's a 13 that hits.
Oh, hey, rats.
Oh,
Rats
Okay.
are kind of easy to hit.
All right.
No, they're not.
yeah.
Really easy to hit.
Usually they are.
So that's 21, and the second dagger is a 10, so 31.
31 damage
Shish
total.
kebab.
And as you carve through dagger after dagger, eventually you pick off the remainder of the rats and the swarm is dissipated. The other 2 rat swarms also, realizing the circumstances is bad, fight or flight kicks in and they flee and crawl back underneath.
Smart rats.
So you all take a moment, kind of Take your breath.
I'm gonna hop down into the shit and loop an arm under Torbeer's arm and... Come on, old man. Is that a door on the far...
Looking on the far side, it's partially buried into the ground from just the collection here, but you can see there is a bit of a push, like the door had been opened briefly and pushed things away and slammed shut. Upon checking the kind of handle on the edge of it, it does appear to be locked.
Locked. All right. Well, I pull out my little sack and I pull out one of these, twing, and go to work on it. A 28.
28. You just flick of the wrist. The door pushes inward a little bit, and you have to get your strength in to kind of push back with just enough of a gap to push through. And the little bit of slime that is kind of coasted through only goes about 5-10 feet into a long stone hallway that disappears in the darkness no more than maybe 20 feet from you. Even with the low light, you can see pretty far in. To the right and left of you, though, sets of iron bars. There's a smooth stone floor. The iron bars are all the way across with some partitions between. This is in particular a subterranean holding facility, some sort of a underground prison. The rest of you guys continuing with them? Mm-hmm. As you enter this area and start stepping in, the air itself has a very chemical smell to it. It's hard to describe. There's something, some sort of gentle hint of like an acrid scent. If you look over on one side, you can see further up, kind of with a bunch of the thatch pushed around it, there appears to be a corpse that doesn't have the layer of dust that a number of the other skeletal piles and some of the other cells seem to have. The body has been probably dead for a couple months. You can see from the wounds that it has received that a large portion of it has been torn open very violently, and elements of it have been removed, like the softer organs. The outfit does appear to be that of a Dusk Meadow Bastion.
I'd like to cast Speak with the Dead.
You can.
Motherfucking cleric.
So as you sit down and you begin preparing your ritual, you once again kind of mutter under your breath and begrudgingly pull out your symbol. There's a slight shimmer of kind of greenish blue light that slowly pours over the corpse. The face sits up with this horrible cracking bone-like sound. The skeletal element with this partially mummified and mostly rotten face kind of steps forward. And,
why do you bother me?
Because I have questions.
What questions do you have?
What killed you?
Something that was not supposed to be here. Occasionally we come and check on these abandoned parts of the prison. A woman was here. A woman should not be down here. I went to ask what was wrong. And she took this from me.
and the bony hand kind of reaches up and gestures to the throat, and you can see there's giant claw marks across the front of its spinal cord where its neck is that kind of give the sensation that something tore its throat out.
When were you killed?
14 weeks have passed.
Did you see which direction she went after she killed you?
She walked away, laughing and eating parts of me. I have not seen her since, but others walk these halls. I've seen a dwarf pass through 2 or 3 times. Sometimes guards come to inspect, but none have found me.
Are all the guards that come bastions of the Raven Queen?
We are the ones to protect the Amaranthine Oubliette. That is our job here. You sit in the lower Forgotten Halls.
What direction was the dwarf going?
Other hand kind of creeps up from underneath the thatch. The hand kind of reaches over and points the direction you guys came from.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Not 5 minutes ago.
The spell fades and the corpse falls back to its original pose, jaw left open, aghast.
Kashra,
Yes.
how close are you to your god?
At one time, very close. Now, I don't think you'd want to be anywhere near her. My god is called Vesh, and I am the only one on the planet who has ever heard of her.
Oh,
Yeah, she killed everybody else.
Why did she spare you?
Because I'm her husband.
How does that happen in the first place?
Torbeer sighs heavily and steps into the room.
I'm already looking.
and is
We can-
and follows Vax.
We can walk and talk.
She married me at birth. My mother was told that I was a special child, which is why I had the yellow eyes. I had 2 when I was born. We were married at birth. She killed everyone in the village. On my 15th naming day, she came to consummate the marriage. I made the first 50 slashes on my right arm. She made the next 50 for a ritual called the Sting of the 100. I gained all her memories. That's when I found out she was essentially the devil. I was raised as a healer because I wasn't just supposed to be her husband, but also her balance, because the universe couldn't accept somebody as black as her in it. Tried to kill her at 15. I haven't seen her since.
As you guys are having this conversation, you moved up and looked, and you can see there are 2 humanoids walking from this direction. They are both dressed in full Dusk Meadow Bastion armor.
I start pushing back on Torbir, backing everybody up, silently pushing backward and just trying to steer everyone into the side into the cell we just came from.
Okay. Make it.
Just trust me. 19.
19, okay. As you're pushing everyone back, like kind of whispering all this, you hear a voice say, Hello? The one with the beard approaches, kind of with his hand on his weapon. The rest of you all make a stealth check.
15.
5.
20.
So 17.
Steps forward into the room a bit. The other one steps behind him, looks about, looks from inside the room, looks over to your room, and continues walking past. The other one.
I throw up a wall of stone. Boof! Right there.
Right there.
That wasn't quiet.
Wall of stone goes up.
How long does that last?
It's permanent.
Let's go.
That chemical smell is getting stronger and stronger, and it's burning your nose a little bit. You approach the door. This door is locked.
Yeah.
Does not appear to be trapped.
Okay. Let's unlock it.
As you reach down to the lock, and you place the picks inside, start fiddling. You look at the iron around it, and the actual metal seems to be frosting over. And as you exhale, your breath becomes visible, and the temperature seems to drop significantly. And as soon as you look up at the wood, something shimmers in the wood. It's a face, a humanoid face that just kind of pushes out of the wood.
Can I use Uncanny Dodge to roll backward right now?
Right now,
Oh my god.
comes through, reaching out for you. This ghostly arm just whoosh, swings towards you. And you
And I say, nope.
I feel like everybody roll initiative.
Oh, again.
Do you see these 2 kind of drifting humanoid, translucent, ghostly entities kind of drift out of the door that Vax was at as he leaps backward, and the second one kind of drifts out of the stone down the hallway and turns towards the group, both kind of giving this horrible low moaning sound. The one that swiped at you,
Yes.
as you dodge backward,
Yes.
it drifts forward, its arms kind of reach out for you and attempt to pierce the front of your chest.
Yes.
Go ahead and make a charisma saving throw.
Okay.
Keyleth, you do the same as the spirit just kind of suddenly,
A charisma saving throw?
yes, flickers and appears right before you.
11.
11.
11.
These ghostly entities completely slip into the physical form of Vax and Keyleth. Their bodies shudder for a second as their eyes glaze over. Both the entities are no longer visible, and your body is not your own. Vax pulls daggers out and turn around and look at the rest of the group. Keyleth the same, turns around and kind of snarls at the rest of the group with this twisted grin.
I am going to make a goading attack.
Okay.
Then they come after me.
Okay.
Or she comes after me.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I don't hit. I don't know why I'm rolling. 24.
24 versus Keyleth.
Yeah, 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage to you, Keyleth.
So I have to expend a superiority die, and I add this. Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck you! Now you're gonna work. So that's 9 more points. Sorry.
9 more points of damage on top of that.
And then the target needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
And so yeah, it just makes the saving throw.
Oh well.
Just
glad I wounded my friend for no good reason. I'm not gonna make my third attack.
I'm going to cast Hold Person, and I'm going to hold Vax.
17.
17.
Damn it.
I take no pleasure in this. And I cast Obelisk of Stone and crush him.
These two stone pillars slam and crush both of you towards the ceiling.
I rolled 20.
It's not gonna be good. Yeah, I rolled an 18.
31 points of damage.
I'm unconscious.
So no.
Keyleth, you fall unconscious on the ground, forcing the spiritual entity out of your body.
I'm going to spend 2 sorcery points to cook in the spell, and then cast Scorching Ray right at it.
Okay.
16, 19, and 19.
All hit. Go ahead and roll damage for each.
23.
23?
Yeah.
Okay. Release all 3 scorching rays, blasting into the ghost. It's impacting, but the bursts seem to detonate through it. You can see it's taking the hits, but it seems almost like because of its ethereal form, it's not feeling the full brunt of the attacks. This creature here, okay, it does not regain its possession ability. All of a sudden, the ghost, Ghostbuster style, like it grows into this horrible screaming entity. I need all of you except for Vex to go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. All of you guys manage to shrug off the effect. You, however, there's something about the way it screamed that for a moment you swear it had a face similar to Vesh from your wedding night, and it clutches your heart, and you are considered frightened for the next minute. Then the now the possessed Vax turns the corner right here, brings out the daggers, and goes towards Tiberius.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead and roll with sneak attack damage against Tiberius.
Okay, it's 33.
33 points of piercing damage against you. Actually, Keyleth, make a saving throw.
I'm unconscious. Oh, right. Because I'm unconscious. 7.
Mark off a death saving throw.
So I'm going to go ahead and try to hit Vax again. 2's probably not going to hit him.
Oh my god.
Probably not going to happen. Let's try again, okay? Because I get 3 attacks, right?
yeah.
So let's see here. Oh, a 4. Okay, so 4. Let's see. That's 14. So I mean, I'm thinking probably the 14's probably not going to hit him. Oh, that's a 7. So that's a 17. Okay.
Tag.
Oh.
Oh, there we
You
go.
find
That's
purchase
it.
with your third strike with your axe.
Yes, of course I listen. I just need time to warm up. Is what is 16?
16 points of slashing
16
damage
points.
against you.
Okay. I'm gonna channel divinity, turn undead.
Turn undead. Okay. As you reach up and grab your holy symbol, pulling it out from under your armor once again, clutching it tightly, you can feel the actual blood begin to pour from the inside of your hand. You're holding it so hard. And with a flash, a force wave billows out from you throughout the hallway. For a brief moment, you see Vax look over and his eyes widen for a second as the blast wave hits him. Both fail. All right. So suddenly, as the blast wave hits, the spirit is forced out of his body against the wall. It just pushes it out, and all of a sudden you have control of your form again.
I don't feel so good.
One against the wall, and they both kind of halfway slide again into the wall. Keyleth, make another saving throw.
8.
Some second failed death saving throw for Keyleth.
Someone pump some life into me.
I'm going to pop one of my simple potions. 7.
7. Okay, you heal 7 hit points and come to consciousness on the ground. So you both, all of you, take a moment. Stillness as the spiritual entities seem to have vanished into the wall.
Oh, they left?
They left after he blasted them with his shockwave of positive energy. They just went into the wall and disappeared.
You told
You
me.
scared them with positive energy?
Unfortunately, the only kind of energy I'm allowed to use most of the time.
Both of you guys, as you enter the room and your kind of darker vision looks out, you can see the room has that strong chemical scent, and parts of the wall have kind of crumbled and fallen into sections, kind of ruining this long kind of empty hallway. But what catches your attention too is a large portion of the floor seems to be lower than the rest of it. There is some sort of a liquid that has largely overtaken the entirety of this room. Something has seeped through from some unseen source and has slowly over time dissolved a large pit into the center of this hallway. About that distance there.
Okay.
Oh my.
Put my hand on Torbear's hand and guide him back out and shut the door and say, it's fucking acid in that room.
Actually, I have something that I think will make us all feel better. And I prepare a hero's feast.
As you guys take a few moments to kind of tend to your wounds and catch your breath, you begin to see this strange shimmering energy in the center of the room. She raises her hand in the air, and through a plume of whitish silver smoke that slowly dissipates, you can now see there is a long table. A very well-crafted table in the center of the room with chairs and benches and an extremely well-prepared, incredible-smelling meal.
We are cured of all diseases and poisons. We become immune to poison and being frightened. And all of our wisdom saving throws have advantage. Also, our maximum hit points increase by 2d10.
How long does everything last from that feast, Keyleth?
24 hours.
24 hours.
So we can still rest, take a long rest, and still have the benefits from the feast.
If we wait, it escapes.
He's a day longer away. It's time or it's strength. That's what we're talking about. We wait and we go in fully charged. Or we go now, and we have a much better chance of catching up to it, but weakened. So is everybody good?
Yeah.
Anybody
Remember,
need
we
healing?
each have plus
I'm fine
2d12.
You sure?
My armor is resistant to acid. Let me lead the way.
Oh, wait. We brought the flying carpet with us. It's in your bag of holding.
You have a flying carpet.
Oh, yes.
Well, there's that. I mean,
That would be helpful to fly over things like pools of acid.
Why don't we pull that out?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Let's go.
All right. You drift down the hallway on the flying carpet.
staring at the slime on the ground.
The air itself, like I said, it hurts, and you have to kind of like continuously rub your eyes and keep them kind of shut. You notice that there are some sigils like in the wall, like 2 foot high, kind of carved stone sigils about 5 feet ahead of you guys. You push forward. You get about here as you're passing through the 2 sigils, and there's a flash from the sigils. They just glow bright, and it's almost like 2 flash bulbs go off from side to side. The carpet dips.
Yeah, don't stop. Keep going. Keep
As
going.
in, the carpet goes limp.
Oh my
I
god.
Cast fly.
Okay. So you cast Fly multiple times. People begin to lift up, and then the spell fades. There's something about these sigils that is
Anti-magic.
canceling magic. The carpet is now going limp, and all of you are now plummeting down towards the acidic surface below. There is one piece of kind of open ground here that could fit maybe 2 people.
Torbjorn dives for it.
Okay.
I go eagle.
Okay, you go eagle form. Torbjorn and Tiberius make it onto that small platform and barely catch yourself before plummeting into the liquid. Cash, you and it's about waist deep. And immediately you feel just this horrible corrosive burning sensation. You, grabbing the carpet, lift and drift and come down into the section. This section has eroded more, and you are about to go up to your shoulders.
Okay.
Immediately, the 2 of you suffer 18 points of acid damage.
I'm wearing acid-resistant armor.
So you take 9 points instead.
Can I fly and pick up Brother Cash as an eagle and try and fly and drag
Don't
him
worry
to the
about him.
shore?
You can. You've reach over and grab him by his.
Grab the carpet. Grab the carpet with you, Cash. Cash,
He
grab
reaches
the
out and
carpet.
grabs his hand, grabs the carpet even though it's sizzling.
As you're pulling him out, it's taking your turn to pull it out as opposed to try and escape from that point. You take another 15 points of acid damage until eventually you're pulled out from the entire pool and carried over to the other side, and then drop on the other side. Portions, the corners of the carpet are dissolved, and you can see the liquid that's on it is still eating away at the actual fibers of the carpet. You're still submerged. You take another 18 points of acid damage, reduced to 9 again. That makes sense to last time.
I'm just gonna start wading towards the other side.
Okay, athletics roll.
A total of 21.
21. That'll be enough to get you just towards the edge, and you pull yourself out onto the side of the stonework, taking a final 13 points of acid damage. Half because of your armor, you take a 7.
Eagle! Hey, Eagle!
So, are you grabbing Tiberius or Torbjorn?
Voiceover humor.
Tiberius.
Okay.
Sorry, he's more important.
I'll take out my mending wheel when I land and grab the carpet.
And then I go back for Torbjorn.
Okay. The magic carpet has sustained fairly hefty damage, and currently, the way you're reading it, its enchantment is fading. You take the mending wheel and you set it up. You take the flying carpet and you set it on there. The wheel begins to rotate, and as you can see, we're A lot of its vibrant color is gone and left with dark, charred, and partially eaten away cloth and cotton. I'm going to ask you to make an Arcana check to attempt to use your concentration and knowledge of magic enchantment to maintain it.
18.
18. The spark of enchantment in the carpet sputters and sputters. The threads of the flying carpet begin to reattach and reform. The carpet unfurls, a seemingly untouched piece of material. A mundane carpet.
Oh. Vex is gonna kill us.
Yeah.
Who's that?
My sister.
Oh God, we just heard them scream from the other room. Oh my God.
On a delay, they just so ready.
Yeah, they did.
I can't seem to find a way out of here. Maybe
Sorry.
maybe your skills could
Yeah, that's an 8.
I got an 18 on perception.
An 18 on perception. There is a small panel of stone that seems to have a slight mismatch in the texture of the rest of the wall. Kind of shove the plate to the side and it glides to the side slightly, and there is a small 3 foot by 3 foot kind of entryway that exits this side of the room. You step through a 15-foot corridor that immediately opens into another room. This room is not as dark as everything else you've gone through, just required light source. This one has a very, very faint series of braziers along the walls that have like almost like a slight ember torch light. Another small stream of that same acidic vitriol that is kind of slowly pouring across the floor, and this appears to be the source that you saw before that has been trickling through and is eating into the side of the wall. Along the walls, there are sets of armor of varying size that are just kind of set up as ornamental pieces. And in the center of the room, there is a 10-foot tall stone statue, a male with slicked long hair that goes to about the mid-back. You see fine robes that look beautifully carved. The face is very chiseled and handsome, but atop the top of the forehead you see these 2 hooked horns that continue upward. There is not 2 legs, but one singular cloven hoof at the bottom of its torso as it stands, and you can see from the eyes the source of the green acidic liquid that drips down like tears, pools onto the ground and spills out. You recognize very clearly from your religious studies and your travels Dispater, who is one of the archdevils of the second layer of hell, also known as the Iron Duke, and is considered a master of politics and manipulation. And you hear a voice echo through the room.
I ask you all this question. Why do you hunt Hotis? Why do you come seeking me dead so fervently that you would continue past such terrible losses and dangers?
It seems to be either omnipresent or loud enough that the echoing of the walls doesn't give away any location.
Our hand is forced. We are bound by contract.
What if I could tell you that there are ways of getting around such magics? You could try and kill me, and you may very well destroy me, but I'll be back. Or we could choose to make a deal. Perhaps a separate contract. Equally binding, but nowhere near as dangerous as this one.
Does anybody trust this guy?
No deal.
No.
I'd like to make an insight check and see if I can just get a sense of how confident
Go for
he
it.
feels.
20 motherfuckers!
I want to know everything about him. I want to know his parents' name. I want to know his social security number. I want to know what his bank account balance is, and I want to know his Ashley Madison password.
I want him dead. I want his house burned to the ground.
It is a very trained voice. This is an individual that has spent the entirety of their life manipulating and toying with the emotions, minds, greed, and goals of others to get its desires itself. A hint of fear, and a very, very heavy coating of words that are very well practiced and silver-tongued. But you gather that there is very, very little intent to follow through on its side of the bargain, and everything is designed as misdirection to send whatever it's made a deal with to its eventual doom.
It dies in this room. Do you hear me? You die in this room.
That is unfortunate.
First off, everyone roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
just in case anyone was worried. If you thought perhaps we'd slipped into some sort of odd parallel universe where I was competent, I did just roll another one. Okay.
God!
You hear some footsteps across the room. A form appear in the far corner. Long reddish robes, humanoid body, but the head itself is this dark gray, feline, tiger-like entity. This long, pronounced feline snout, big fangs dripping from it, long whiskers, this sadistic grin on its face. The amulet that was once adorning the statue now around its neck. Where its hands are, you can see the hands are actually backwards and upturned in these nasty-looking claws. And it continues and releases its hands in some sort of arcane form. I need you to go ahead and make a wisdom save.
Hold on, what is he doing? Is he casting a spell?
Advantage.
He is.
Yes.
Fourth level counterspell.
A counter spell. He goes and finishes a charm person spell towards you. You just release that with your ring, and the spell dissipates from his grasp. It growls under its breath.
I'm clicking my boots of haste. I'm just gonna throw dagger through the air
Okay.
from the shadows. I have no idea. He might be able to see me like the Predator. I don't know.
Okay. Go for it.
That's a 3, so that's shit. This is 15.
15 misses.
21.
21 does hit. You can go ahead and roll sneak attack damage.
Okay. Yeah, 22.
Smacks into him. It hits him. The impact, though, seems to almost be partially absorbed or shrugged off. You're not entirely certain. It feels like it should have hit harder, but nevertheless, he took damage. One of the nearby larger pieces of armor comes to life and steps forward. You can now see there is a large humanoid form that is built out of a giant breastplate with shoulder pauldrons, a helmet, and these giant stone-like fists and feet that come lunging forward. It kind of brings its fist up for a second, and there's a small gem that's embedded in one of the stone fists. And you can see it's kind of pulsing with stored energy. The gem glows red and then releases a very familiar looking little bead of red energy. The red beam comes and hits the back wall and detonates in a large fireball blast that
fucking fireball.
encapsulates the entire opposite
I'm
side
using
of the room.
evasion. He got a
Well,
1.
I mean, I know what you're
got a
thinking.
1, he
You're
got a 1.
thinking, oh, clearly I haven't touched my die. Because the last time I rolled my die, it had a 1 on it. But in fact, I did roll another 1.
I feel like we're this close to starting the apocalypse. Like with,
Or, yeah.
with each one that you roll, like
One small black hole is getting a little bit bigger in the universe.
Yeah, that is 33 points of damage to Torbeer and to Brother Cash. Half of that to both of you guys.
I rolled a 16.
So you made it. So you take no damage.
Nothing. I hit the ground and roll. Stop, drop, and roll, people. Stop, drop, and roll.
It kind of finishes itself, pulls back. However, the gem now goes to a dull, dark state. No more stored magical energy.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna mass cure wounds right now, just because I'm so low.
Okay.
So it's level 5.
Okay, so mass cure wounds, everyone.
Everybody gets 24, is that right?
24 hit points.
Oh, nice.
Fairy fire. Poof! Right on the Rakshasa.
You go ahead and you cast Fairy Fire, and you can see the energy coalesce and dissipate.
Son of a bitch.
The Rakshasa unaffected entirely by the spell.
None of our magical words again. You know what I'm going to say. I'm speaking Draconic again. I'm sorry.
Tiger on tiger?
Tiger on tiger.
As Keyleth now angrily morphs into this large, white, saber-toothed tiger that roars in the ground where she once was.
I need to attempt to cast slow on both of them.
You haven't seen one of these before, but you've heard about it in passing, and you feel like there was a story once about it. It's referred to as a shield guardian.
Shield guardian.
It is linked to whoever wears the amulet and manages to share damage should the wearer take damage. It also slowly repairs itself over time. The Rakshasa appears unaffected. However, the guardian does seem to... its movements seem to shimmer and shake as it's forcing its way through the arcane net you've now cast around it.
It takes a -2 penalty to its AC and its
And
dexterity saving throws,
and it can't use reactions. Yep.
I'm going to use an action surge.
Okay.
So I get an additional action. Does that mean I get to do 6 attacks?
Oh.
23.
It hits, yeah.
Nice.
All right. Slashing damage, 12 slash.
12 slash, nice.
Haha! That's a 2.
All right.
Sorry,
You hit the side of its armor and just ping, deflects off the side with a loud ringing sound.
Is a 3. I'm guessing 13's not good enough to hit that thing.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, attack number 4. Is this 27?
Yeah!
Hits!
How about that?
7 damage.
7. That's
All right.
my 5th attack. That's another 1. All right, here's my last attack. 28. Is that
28.
hit?
I think it'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Great. 13.
Alrighty. So out of the 6 strikes, 3 make contact. You're starting to carve sections into the leathery kind of connecting areas of the shield guardian. You're doing damage, but it's still pretty hardy and holding itself up. Hotis, who is unhappy and next to you, going to look over and glance at you, Vax. You see this time it's going to go ahead and it pulls itself back in with this kind of grin. It catches your eye, and there's a slight shine to its connection there, and as it whispers something under its breath. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, but with advantage.
With advantage because of the meal shield.
15.
You feel the will of the Rakshasa take your mind as you are dominated by it. It is now your turn.
Yeah, who am I going to cut?
Rakshasa
Everybody.
is going to send you up behind Cass. Go ahead and make an attack on him.
23.
23 hits.
So that first one hit for 8. The second one is a natural 20. That was my life-stealing dagger, and on a natural 20, I get the 10 hit points that I cut from him. Well, the good news is I'm back up to full.
That's fun.
Oh, that is good news.
There's that third dagger, man.
Oh,
This
there's-
one is poisonous,
Awesome.
and that's hits.
Again, you can't get the smile off your face. It's etched in there permanently. You suck. Look at that.
What is it, the 8? Poison's a DC of 15, so roll a
Take another 8 damage.
Constitution.
Nope.
That's okay. You guys are immune to poison thanks to the meal that you ate.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
as he just eviscerates you with the daggers, most of the armor's absorbing a lot of the blows, and you're kind of like feeling the impact. And one of them catches you in the side, and you feel the poison pulse in your system, but your physical body just shuts it down, and you feel yourself.
Damn good
Unaffected.
lasagna.
And I want to just.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make another wisdom saving throw with advantage to try and resist.
With advantage. Yeah, it's 21.
You resisted the effect. Domination fades.
I think I'm gonna do my last level 5 mass cure wounds. 29, yeah.
So everyone heals 29 hit points. The shield guardian is going to turn this way and is going to just attempt to pummel on you.
Let's do this.
A 25 to hit.
Oh, it turns out that hits me.
13.
That does not hit me.
Okay. 12 points of bludgeoning damage
All
as
right.
the fist just slams into you. Second one comes down and you manage to just knock it away with the edge of your axe.
All right, hitting it with my bite attack. 21.
That does hit.
Bam. And
However, are your natural weapons magical?
yes, they are, because Circle of the Moon, baby.
That's right. So yes.
8 damage of piercing damage for my bite. Arr!
And what's your alignment?
Good. I'm keyless. I'm neutral good.
Just checking. You bite into it. As you do, it hits you with its elbow. It's like its backwards turned hands trying to grasp out and push you off. For some reason, you did a lot more damage than you thought you would. You hit some sort of vulnerable point in its body, or there's something about the attack method that it did not like, and it's like and just hisses at you with this guttural tiger growl.
I'll cast silence right inside of the.
Center of the room.
Not hit a cash up.
So there's an orb of silence here that kind of fills the vicinity.
I am attacking the guardian again. 21.
That hits.
I rolled a 12 on my die, so 18. 18 points of damage.
18 points
to
of
the
damage, nice.
guardian thing. My second attack against the guardian, 16.
16 does not hit, unfortunately. It just it beats away your edge of your blade with one of its giant fists.
And my last attack, 23.
23 hits.
11.
11. Alrighty. So, knocked away and then come down a third hit. Schmack, cracking in the center of the breastplate. The breastplate actually separates slightly. You can see a little bit of the arcane energy holding it together underneath. Hotis' turn. It begins looking at itself. It moves. It gets an attack from you, Marisha. As it charges away, though, it runs out of the field of silence. It is going to begin casting a spell on itself. It is now currently flying in the room about 10 feet up right now. It's gonna-
Flying now?
Yep.
I'm going to use my bonus action to hide.
Okay.
Advantage because of the cloak. So 27.
27, okay.
2 daggers out of the dark. So
So
the first roll was a 30.
that hits.
Okay. 38 for the one dagger.
38 damage. When you throw the dagger, it doubles over in severe pain, more than you expected it would be, and it clutches, and it tries to grab the dagger to pull it out before it vanishes from the wound, kind of leaving the blood pooling out of it. It looks like it was hurt significantly by this attack, more so than you were expecting. However, at the same time, the shield guardian kind of doubles over for a second at the same time of the impact.
Trigger attack on that. Yep.
14. Clink, clink, clink.
14? Nope.
I want to move a little bit closer and then cast spiritual weapon.
What weapon would you like to create?
How about a giant mace?
Okay, so as you clutch your holy symbol to yourself, now there's a sudden a pillar of bright, vibrant, healing light surrounded by that same halo of pitch black darkness, almost like this strange border around it. You can see now on the ground this shimmering, almost staticky mace is left behind. It's kind of, it's almost flickering in and out of existence.
I wish to send it towards the Rakshasa.
Okay.
And concentrate all fire on the Rakshasa.
Okay, so it goes ahead and what's the damage on the magical weapon?
20.
20 hits. Go ahead and roll damage. It's 1d8 plus 5, which is your spell bonus.
5 and 5, so 10.
Okay, 10 points of damage. Slams into the side. The Rakshasa kind of like takes the brunt of it to its arm, and the shield guardian shudders slightly in the distance. The shield guardian is going to pivot in place and bring both fists right down towards you. 25 to hit.
Oh, yes.
And that'll be a 14 to hit.
No.
15 damage.
Since he's floating, I'm just gonna go for the spiritual guardian. A 21.
That hits. If you move back and then pounce, you could.
Then fuck yeah, it's a pounce.
Nope, not with a 3.
Then he is knocked prone.
Slow and prone.
And then I make a bite attack, which is a 19. 7 damage.
7 damage. Alrighty.
I'm gonna cast Obelisk of Stone. Rakshasa. The butthole. And smash the shit out of both of them. 20 feet high.
Well, that's a natural 20 for the Rakshasa. And 6 for the shield guardian. The Rakshasa dodges out of the way, and there's now a giant pillar in the middle of the room.
I can't do anything. Can I just delay?
You can, if you want to, you can use your action to hold off until something triggers, which could be moving out of being pinned, in which case you could then take your action on it.
I'll do that.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. However, I have other business to attend to. At least I know where to hit you all the hardest. I know you have a father you seek. I know you have family in Draconia. I know you have a sister that is not too far from here. And you, I know you have one you hold dear to your heart. And I will see them soon.
And it begins to
Tiberius.
4th level counter spell.
Tiberius!
Alright, it is a 7th level spell. Let's go ahead and roll.
19.
You need to roll 17 or higher. It's forming into shimmer, and you see a small gate begin to open around its form. You, as a reaction, reach up and unleash your torrent of countering arcane energy. It hits this opening gate. The gate then fluctuates and shuts, at which point the Rakshasa goes... And for the first time really in this entire battle, looks genuinely scared.
Yeah!
It's going to fly toward the door.
I'm going to use my bonus action to go stealth. It's 28.
Okay.
And I'm throwing daggers at the back of his head. 27.
Yeah!
You have sneak attack on him.
30.
Damn it.
30 damage?
30 damage.
Oh!
How do you want to do this?
I've got the dagger in my hand, right? I see him flying away. I'm just crouched down. I flip it over so the blade's in my hand. I don't go fast, I just take my time, pull back, throw it harder than I usually do. Through its neck. Out the front.
The dagger hits it in the back of the neck, and you see it comes out the back of the front of the throat. The spell falters, falls to the ground, taking a serious impact fall, and is now like dragging itself towards the exit of the room. It brings up its hands and starts trying to cast the spell. And causes this big old pool of blood on the ground.
Grab it by the ear and lift its head back. Talk about my sister again.
With a spray of crimson across the ground, this horrible sucking sound, you pull back the head as the life force of the Rakshasa comes spraying across the stone floor as you release it and leave it to the ground, but you hear this chuckle.
Find you.
The shield guardian was currently struggling, has just gone limp, pinned against the ceiling now.
Sweet. Nice work.
Okay, I go over to it and I use my book and I start harvesting all the parts we need. So I have to do this individually for each one, correct?
Correct.
Natural 20. That's for the eyes.
Without a problem, pop both eyes out.
Tongue. I'll also take that natural 20.
There is a
So 20s
purpose
in
you
a row.
serve.
And it's the balance on the sides of the room.
I'll take that. And for the heart, 16 total.
With some difficulty, you manage to eventually tear the heart out of the chest cavity.
The claws,
That's harvested.
30.
All right.
Or
You-
sorry, 29.
You take
29.
each one of the hands of the Rakshasa that are, the back-turned, strange, upside-down humanoid hands and just cut them off the wrist very cleanly, and both are harvested without issue.
And the canine teeth, 25.
You take the rest of the head and you manage to pull out very cleanly both of the canines from the inside of the mouth. As you've completed the harvesting, you notice the contract, the sigils that currently lock it, flash and seem to vanish from the paper. Your contract completed. For the sake of brevity, you all manage to make your way arduously and with much difficulty, not through the Emerantine Oubliette, because that'd be difficult, but retracing your steps back through a tunnel which has been sealed shut by iron pillars.
We had to break through those first.
Especially since as you remove the iron pillars, the boulder then begins to roll past. So you've kind of carved your way through. You make your way precariously back to the Velvet Cabaret, back into the room where the Rakshasa once lived. Do you wish to walk into the center of the Velvet Cabaret, covered in various fluids?
Fuck yes, we do.
I think absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
you guys, poof, the door slams open and you all step into the center of the Velvet Cabaret. You hear the music playing and everyone's kind of laughing. As you guys enter the room, the music comes to a stop. You step out into the thoroughfare, close the door behind you, back into the Quad Roads district, making your way towards Slayer's Take Guildhall.
On the way out, I grab 2 glasses of ale and I hand one to this guy. And just walk and don't say shit.
Torbjorn is genuinely touched by this gesture.
Make your way through the main thoroughfare back to the center of the Quad Roads to Slayer's Take Guildhall. You step inside, and there, across the way in mid-conversation with his wife, is Merton. As you enter, they both turn with a look of excited surprise and...
Well, I assume that this means the contract went well, right? Huh?
It's done.
Take a canvas bag and I plop it on the table full of the Rakshasa bits.
Very good. I'm glad that we gave you such a trusted member as your overseer. You did well, Torbjorn. Thank you for your efforts in keeping these fledglings alive.
looks into the contents of the bag. Very well. To be paid out in full and scattered amongst your party as you see fit.
The rest of our party, have they returned? Have they checked-in yet?
Not yet. They are still out at the moment. I would not be too worried. I will notify you upon their return, though.
The rest of this team is half as good as these members. The take has grown much stronger this day.
She crosses her arms, and her usual kind of jovial, passive attitude grows a little more stern. She gives a nod of genuine respect towards Torbjorn. And for the first time, really, even returning this, the first time she looks about the rest of you with a really understanding the essence of strength between and behind each of you. I believe you are correct. I think there will be great things ahead for us. Welcome to the Slayer's Take. She reaches down, brings up a small wooden chest, sets on the edge, and opens it on the inside. You can see it is rather abundant with gold and platinum, of which the total comes to 5,100 gold pieces, 1,020 gold each.
I take it my obligation has been fulfilled.
It has.
You know I have no desire to stay.
If you insist, but you know that whenever you come back to our little humble abode, you always have a place to stay and work at your disposal, Brother Cash.
Thank you. He turns and looks at the rest of his party. Well, it's certainly been interesting.
It has been a pleasure and an honor, Cashel. You as well, Torbjorn.
And you might be the most annoying person I've ever met in my life. With that, he grabs her around the waist, pulls her in, and plants one right on her. Turns, winks, walks out of the room.
Torbjorn sighs heavily and is annoyed.
Very well. Welcome to the Slayer's Take. And with that, we'll close this evening's session.
What a button on the